Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Scorpio energy. And like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Scorpio energy, and the bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy energy. We've all got our dualistic nature. We have free will. We have to make choices in the world. And some people right now could be struggling within themselves. They might want to move forward in life differently, but when we move forward in life differently, that means we can't live life the way we were living it to some degree. You know, we've healed, we've grown, we've matured. We're going to maybe leave jobs or friendships or relationships or just break poor habits. Something. Anyway, it could cause people some inner conflict. Do we want to harness high vibe Scorpio energy? Be in deep, meaningful, authentic, loving relationships, explore the mysteries of life emotionally? Or would we rather keep our emotions kind of buried beneath the surface because they're confusing, and we'd rather not maybe be okay with a more superficial, shallow life and relationship? So we all tap into Scorpio energy, listen to your intuition about where you're at in the story, listen to your intuition about where other people are at in their Scorpio energy. The reason for the top rose reading is the Sun card, which in high vibe, in Leo energy, is wanting to be in more authentic, deep, meaningful relationships. And you've been illuminated to the truth. There was something that you realized that was kind of holding you back from being more authentically yourself and loving or open to love or something. And it's the reason why the reading came out. There could be some people in your life that do operate from more shadowy Leo energy, regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are. They just might operate more from their egoic nature, defensive nature, more about themselves, more about ego and image or money and materialism. And you were illuminated to the truth that you want to be in more authentic, loving, warm, encouraging, supportive relationships than ones that might be more out of ego or defensiveness. The reason for the bottom rose reading is the Six of Swords, which can be people were living their life a certain way, and then they saw the truth. They realized the way that they were living their life was causing them mental conflict, but some of the people in their life might have wanted to keep moving forward that way, and they didn't want to keep moving forward that way. And the Six of Swords is Aquarius energy, which is about our dreams. And some people could be more about looking like a shining star in the world, or liking to be the center of attention, or being in a relationship where everyone else puts aside their pride and ego in the relationship, but never them. But it could just be that, we realize we have different dreams, different things that we're motivated and inspired by. So in the top row, we have the Chariot, two cards not showing themselves, the World card, and then the Three of Cups. So people were inspired. Leo is fire sign energy, which can be about being inspired. Maybe I did look at life from a higher perspective, that there's a higher truth and justice to why I'm on this planet, other than being about myself or looking like a shining star in the world or making it all about me, or the people I was in a relationship were like that. But I could have had some mental conflict, maybe about being more authentically myself. I could have been kind of tipped out of balance, living more from my mind than my heart. And the Chariot talks about getting more balance within yourself. And we can all be caught up in these things of the world, these things we want to have in the world. And maybe before, people were a little more caught up in, moving forward in life, looking victorious, looking successful. We want these things of the world. But we could have realized that if we kept making our life more about us or more about these things of the world, even though it would look victorious and successful in some way, because that's what the Chariot talks about, maybe it wouldn't be as loving as we wanted it to be, or we'd be moving forward with people who we could feel are kind of trying to emotionally manipulate us to stay in a job or a relationship more out of ego and image and things like that. And we didn't like feeling emotionally manipulated by that within ourselves or by other people. And we just kind of realize the truth of it, that that's not, yes, I want those things of the world, but I'm not willing to give up my dreams of being in a more authentic, loving relationship to settle for just those things of the world, even though those things might look really victorious and successful. If it's not love, why am I in it? And some people are already in, loving relationships. And if there's someone else that would like to be in a relationship with them, if they're already in an authentic, loving, emotionally balanced relationship, why would they get involved with a third party, even though that person could be loving also, because the Three of Cups is Cancer energy? If I'm already in that type of relationship, the only reason I would maybe go with that relationship versus the one I'm in is if I think the one that I'm in is a little bit more about, you can love people, but what about the people you're in a relationship with? Are they in the relationship more because of ego and image and stuff and not love? But otherwise, the only reason we'd maybe get in it is because we'd act in shadowy energy. And if this is another high vibe person, they don't want someone to come get in a relationship with them being more in shadowy, egoic, whatever energy, They would wish those people peace and love. You stay in the relationships you're in. I am going to move forward. If this relationship can't work out because you're already in a loving relationship like that, then I see the truth of it, wish you peace and love, and I'm going to keep moving forward. But some people might move away from how they have been living their life, get in the driver's seat of their life, and put an end to being manipulated by their more worldly, egoic nature to do love and be more authentic and let love and intuition guide their decisions instead of their fear or their insecurity or their ego. Now, with these two cards not showing themselves, as high vibe people are moving forward, what some people might not realize about them because those cards aren't showing themselves is that if they used to harness those energies in a more worldly, shadowy way, they've cut that, detached from that way of harnessing these energies. And what people don't know about them is that they're harnessing these energies in a more high vibrational way. So there could be some people coming towards someone who is in high vibrational energy, but some of those people harness their energy in a more worldly, egoic way, which can be the Chariot, kind of in a shadowy way. And what they don't realize is that the people they're approaching have been illuminated to the truth about people, and they listen to their intuition about people who are kind of more worldly and shadowy, but they don't know that. They think they can tempt someone more in their ego. And they will find out in the World card that those people aren't interested, and they might be surprised that these people are harnessing this energy in a more high vibrational way. The Hangman and the Empress energy. So if people had kind of harnessed that energy in a more shadowy way before, they could have been stuck on a Libra or a Taurus. They could have been kind of stuck because they wanted to manifest these certain things in the world. And it could have been a little bit more about ego and image and things like that. But they no longer harness those energies in that way because they've looked at life from a different perspective. And they've realized that, again, if I have these things of the world, but if I'm not in authentic, loving relationships, those things just don't have the attraction for me that they used to have. So now they're harnessing high vibe Libra Taurus energy instead of a more worldly, shadowy Libra Taurus energy. And they've gotten balance within themselves. They love themselves. They've gotten out of their more worldly, egoic view of life, and they're ready to give birth to something new, which is also the Sun card, a new beginning. And people can't emotionally manipulate them the way they used to. Some people could be very loving, nurturing, giving people. And because of that, other people, they kind of would get themselves maybe in imbalanced relationships where they're a real giver. Love, love, love. Like, I'm going to try to love you, to get you to see life from a higher perspective, to believe in yourself, blah, blah, blah. And they're done doing that. It's like, if people aren't on the same page as me and people aren't more authentic and open and balanced and loving and open to giving and receiving love, I'm no longer going to play like a mother figure in people's life. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to change you. I'm going to love you. You're going to change. It's like not taking on projects anymore. And also kind of not consumed with these things of the world as much. I have enough. I'm good. I believe in myself. I believe I can, I want a balance. I want these things of the world, but I also want authentic, loving relationships, and I'm not going to indulge my more prideful, worldly want of these things at the expense of authenticity and love. And as some people try to approach those people, trying to appear maybe like they're a loving person, but they kind of use their emotions manipulatively in a relationship, trying to appeal to people's ego, they're going to realize that some people aren't the same people they were before, and they can't be emotionally manipulated in their more worldly, egoic nature. They have seen the truth, and if they want their dreams to come into reality, they know the only way their dreams can come into reality is being with other authentic, loving people. And so some of those relationships won't work out because the other people can't kind of be manipulated by the illusion anymore. So, what's going on with the bottom row? We have the Nine of Wands, the Two of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Two of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Ten of Cups. So, some people could be struggling within themselves because we can all have people in our life that we wish would move forward with us long term. We want to be friends with them. We want to be in relationships with them. But they could, and we wanted that dream to come into reality. But we could know that some people in the Two of Wands, they're kind of more motivated and inspired to repeat this pattern of a relationship instead of investing in their more loving, hopeful, believing nature and looking at life from a higher perspective. They could be more about themselves. They could be more about looking like a shining star in the world, being more in their ego nature. And the Nine of Wands can be people who are defensive to listening to their intuition in love. And they might be a little bit more about themselves. And so when they get in a relationship, they might like to be defensive. I don't really want to do love. I get hurt doing love, but I want to stay in denial of that truth, and I want you to stay in denial of that truth, and I want you to be in a relationship with me anyway. Kind of like, I know you love me. I know you want this dream to come into reality. You turn your back on being in the relationship of your dreams and stay in a relationship or get in a relationship with me where I get to be defensive and you keep having hope and faith and belief that one day I'll change. And there could be some people that are in a relationship with someone like that right now. And that's kind of the pattern, because maybe they haven't learned to love themselves and believe in themselves. And we can all repeat a pattern of a way of viewing life. And, again, other loving people that we would maybe like to move forward with. Some of those people we can't be in a relationship with because they're still repeating an old pattern. We all repeat a certain pattern until we've kind of freed ourselves from things that manipulate us, that keep making us repeat that same pattern. And some loving people, that's what they do. They get in relationships with people who are defensive, and it's like, oh no, I'm going to make you look at life from a higher perspective. I'm going to change you. I'm going to make you do love one day. But while they're doing that, they're missing out on an opportunity to have their dreams come into reality because they're staying in relationships with people who don't want to see the truth. And they might not be wanting to see the truth that the other person is defensive. Like God's been working with them all this time to try to get them to align with their more hopeful, believing, loving nature, but they're defensive to that. I don't want to listen to my intuition. I don't want to do love. I'm kind of more about maybe protecting myself from being hurt. And if I get in a relationship where it's more about me, or it's more about these things of the world, or more about my career, or looking like a shining star in the world, maybe there'll be someone who wants to be in a relationship with me who also maybe doesn't have hope and faith and belief in their dreams or love. And they'll be willing to be in a relationship with me because we do look victorious and successful. And if they're both on the same page, that is a just and fair relationship. And we just need to see the truth of it. Not everyone wants to do love. Not everybody wants to let their more authentic, loving nature out to play in the world. It could get hurt. And maybe they don't think they could pick themselves up if it didn't work out. If they stay in a relationship and they have someone who's willing to stay in a relationship with them, and they're both defensive, both are willing to stay in it because it looks victorious or successful, or they're just in a relationship, and neither one of them want to get more balance to love and believe in themselves, well, then it's a just and fair relationship. If they're happy making their life about ego and image or indulgence, then that's a just and fair relationship. They're in a relationship with someone who's on the same page as them. It's just that some people that have been in kind of that relationship, they could have put this work and effort into trying to change someone. And eventually they saw the truth that my dream is never going to come into reality with those people because they have the free will choice to not make their life more about themselves or indulgence or these things of the world and be more authentic and loving and open to that. And some people did see the truth, and some people are seeing the truth. And it's like, I'm leaving. The Six of Swords leaves behind the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords can just be people who have a lot of mental conflict about love, or letting go of their more defensive nature, or being more about themselves, or wanting to be indulged kind of in some poor behaviors, Like, I want to be more about myself. I want to be immature. Maybe I have these things of the world to offer people, and I could look victorious and successful in some way. I'm good looking. I'm charming. I got social clout, money, whatever. And I think there's people that should want to be in relationship with me because they want those things of the world too. And, I'll wait for someone who is willing to move forward with me in that way because I'm not willing to do love or be more authentically myself and come out from behind my more emotionally defensive, egoic nature. And other people have seen the truth. I see that you're kind of stuck, caught up in these things of the world, or wanting to be indulged in some way. And I'm done being in relationships with people who want to be indulged in some way, where it's not just and fair and people treating each other like they like to be treated and more independent of your worldly egoic nature. And I'm not caught up in the illusion of the world anymore and maybe making my life about indulging in those things or the ego or the image. I want to live my authentic life in truth and love, where we're not caught up in those things. And if that's not you, then I am moving forward, and I will not be investing emotionally with you anymore. Wish you peace. Maybe see you out. Maybe see you at Christmas, whatever. But I'm going to go have a new beginning because I don't want to live my life like that anymore. So, what's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Scorpio energy that they might not see coming up? The Seven of Pentacles, because of the High Priestess. So the Seven of Pentacles can talk about your philosophy of life and also being... So in your philosophy of life, you are putting in this work and effort to move forward, to have this new beginning. Why? Because you've learned to listen to your intuition, where before we could have lived more from our mind than our heart. We could have been more caught up in these things of the world or ego or something. And now you've learned to listen to your intuition, which I think our intuition was given to us as a gift to help us navigate in this world. And if we had gotten in these kind of more mismatched relationships where we want to do love and other people are more driven by maybe wanting to stay in the relationship, but it's more about the ego and the image and maybe not willing to be a student of life. When one person is holding one pentacle, it can mean that they are willing to get out of their ego to learn lessons in life, to look at life from a higher perspective, expand their perception of themselves and the world around them, and maybe how they view relationships, how they view people that they get in relationships. And some people aren't willing to do that. I'm not willing to get out of my ego to maybe even look at life from any other perspective. And some people don't. Some people are like, it's all about the world. And if the world says I should make my life about these things, that this will make me happy, that's how I'm going to live my life. I don't think there's a higher truth or justice to aspire to. I don't think there's any other purpose to being on this planet than me investing in those things of the world, maybe getting in relationships to look like a shining star, to look like I've moved on, to look like I'm victorious and successful, or to get in a relationship with someone else who's defensive, who doesn't know the truth about me, doesn't realize I'm more ego-focused, self-focused, materialistic and image-focused. And as long as they don't know the truth about me, haven't seen the truth, then I'm going to keep staying in a relationship with them because they kind of keep living life like this or indulging me in my ego. And for some people, that's the kind of relationship they want. I want to be indulged. I want it to be more about me. I don't want to work together with people cooperatively in love and act with maybe more character and integrity and be more authentic and loving and warm. I like to live more from my mind than my heart. I like to be more about me or these things of the world. I'm defensive to love. So even though they could have people in their life that would like to be in relationship with them, are a student of life, got out of their ego, are willing to compromise, these people could not be willing to, because it would mean they'd maybe have to speak their truth, reveal the truth, get out of their defensive nature or self-interest nature to invest in looking at life from a higher perspective. And they don't want to do that. So we just need to see the truth of it. So you're listening to your intuition about different people in your life, anybody you might meet, anybody who might approach you. You're just being careful about who you invest your time, energy, and effort into. You might get to know people. The Three of Cups can talk about getting to know people. The Seven of Pentacles can be investing some time, energy, and effort into people. But you're going to listen to your intuition. Who's being authentic? Who seems to be more emotionally balanced and has learned lessons in life and works cooperatively together with people in love? Those are the people you're willing to move forward with in your life. And who are the people that might want to have a new beginning with you or be in a relationship with you, but they just present themselves as these emotionally balanced, loving people, but they still are operating from their ego and trying to emotionally manipulate people and maybe tempt them in their ego nature. And those people you're going to listen to your intuition about and not work with those people and not invest any more time, energy, and effort into those people. So, what's coming up for the people who might harness a little more worldly or shadowy Scorpio energy that they might not see coming up? Okay, the Judgment card because of the Ace of Pentacles. Well, there are people right now in relationships that have been defensive to listening to their intuition. Their intuition could be screaming at them. You should quit living your life like this. You should quit being more about yourself. You should let go of your defensive nature. You should get out of your ego. You should be willing to admit that maybe you got caught up in the world. Maybe you got caught up in yourself. Maybe you got caught up in your defensive nature. And see the truth. And it could help you get out of some mental conflict. But some people, the Six of Swords moving away from the Five of Swords, some people do want to win at all costs. And they don't care who gets hurt. And they're willing to turn their back on investing in their more emotionally intuitive, loving nature, because that, to them at this point anyway, is less important than protecting themselves from being hurt in love. So I don't want to do love. I'll stay in a relationship, kind of indulge myself in a relationship until those people really kind of want me to move the relationship to the next level. And once they are trying to get me to heal or grow or mature myself, I'm going to stay in the relationship until they do. And eventually people in their life call judgment on them. And those people see the truth that my dream isn't going to come into reality with you, is it? Your idea of the dream life and dream relationship is not being more emotionally balanced in love. They might like these more tipped out of balance relationships where you give, they take, or everybody makes their life more about indulgence or ego. And people just see the truth, and then those people move away. And sometimes these people think, oh, these people won't leave. I might look like a shining star in the world. I might have ego, image, social clout, money. I bet they won't ever love and believe in themselves and be willing to give this up. I bet they'll never get in the driver's seat and love themselves. I think they're defensive, and I don't think they love themselves yet. And I think they're kind of codependent, and I don't think they'll ever leave. And one day they do. You know, people can stay in a relationship for a long time, hoping and believing that one day people will change or something. And eventually, one day too, people realize the only person I can change is me. And I've been offering love and encouragement, and this person keeps turning their back on being willing to get out of their ego and admit that maybe they got some lessons to learn in life and have that more hopeful, believing nature. And eventually I got to see the truth. I need to move on. If I want my dreams to come into reality, I need to go find people who are on the same page as me, or just go enjoy my life not being in a relationship with someone who's defensive, who wants to stay in denial of the truth. It's supposed to be about love. Or quit being in denial that the person they love the most, you know, we should all love ourselves, but some people could be egotistical, self-centered, narcissistic people, and it's all about them. And they want to be in denial that they are all about them. And eventually other people realize, you know, if you're going to be in a relationship with people, you're supposed to work cooperatively from love. Treat each other the way you like to be treated, but apparently you don't want to see the truth that you're maybe just all about yourself. Your wants, your needs, your lust, your greed, your pride, your ego. And eventually people see the truth of it. They can't stay in denial of the truth anymore. They've been illuminated to the truth. And so they leave and they go communicate with people in their life who they think are more on the same page as them. And tell them, I'm done being manipulated by my ego. I'm done being manipulated by other people that are in their ego, or people caught up in these things of the world instead of love. And I want to invest in someone who's more loving and authentic, who listens to their intuition instead of their fear and their insecurity and their defensiveness and their ego. People who have learned some of the same lessons I've learned in life. And some of those people will be shocked. I can't believe those people love and believe in themselves. I can't believe these people are willing to give up these things of the world to go pursue a more emotionally balanced, loving relationship. And for some of you that have already moved away from some people like that, they could have went and gotten themselves in a new relationship. Oh, look, there's someone who's defensive. Maybe a relationship they were in didn't work out. They don't know the truth of me. I'll go get in a relationship with them. And I'll tell them that they should move forward with me in a relationship. We'll be happy. We'll look like shining stars in the world. I'll offer you these things of the world that I have for you to love me. And until you realize that I'm not going to emotionally invest in you the way that you invest in me, but until you see the truth of it, let's move forward in a relationship. And they might have been doing that, and now they're having it happen again. That people are like, I would like to have a dream come into reality. I've been trying to help you get out of your defensive nature or worldly more view of life to do love, but you're not, so I'm leaving. And this pattern can keep repeating over and over, and some people keeps not wanting to see the truth. That because they're more about themselves and these things of the world, or wanting to be indulged, or more concerned about ego and image, which could again make it a more superficial and shallow relationship. Other people want love, authentic, loving relationships. And so people leave. Now, there might be someone that they might not see coming who's decided they do want to be in a relationship with them. And it could be someone who's more on the same page as them. And that would be a just and fair relationship. Someone else who might be defensive. Someone else who's kind of in denial that they are kind of more about themselves than working cooperatively in love. Who also might be kind of immature and have some lessons to learn in life. Who also might love looking like a shining star in the world and more about the ego and the image of it. And that would be a just and fair relationship. And they might move forward in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. They both might be kind of defensive in the relationship. There might be a part of them that dreams of being in a relationship with people that were in their life that had good boundaries within themselves, who were loving and nurturing and warm. But because they were happy making their life more about themselves or these things of the world, they didn't keep investing in those people. And instead, they thought, no, I think I'll be happy living more from my mind than my heart, making my life about these things of the world. And another thing they might not see coming is some people can try to present themselves as high vibe people. I'm this loving family person. I look at life from a higher perspective. I'm, a shining star in the world. People should view me as this emotionally balanced, loving, stable, grounded, authentic person. I'm not selfish. I'm not greedy. I'm not materialistic. I'm not more about myself. But as they keep kind of rejecting loving people in their life, and they kind of keep indulging themselves maybe in relationships, but if those people want the dream to come into reality, then they turn their back on those people and go out to go find someone else who feels stuck, who doesn't know the truth about them, and then they go indulge themselves in that relationship. When those people want to bring the dream into reality, oh, no, you got to go. I got to go find someone else to indulge myself in a relationship with, and I'll make that person think I'm going to bring the dream into reality, but I'm really not. And then if they do get in a relationship with someone, it might be, and it's kind of obvious, that it's more about the ego and the image or them being indulged. And other people are going to see the truth. And some people thought, oh, I can just create this illusion. I'm so smart. I'm so bright. I can confuse people about the truth of who I am. I'll create some illusion about why I didn't move forward with those other people, confusing people about the truth of who they are. And eventually people see through the illusion. You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Why didn't you move forward with the people who seemed emotionally balanced and loving and warm and authentic that you really could have had a dream come into reality? And it's like, because that's not my truth. The truth is, I'm defensive to love, but I don't want to see the truth of it. I might have a lot of mental conflict. I might have a lot of past pain and heartbreak. From the Two of Swords to the Six of Swords is the Four of Swords. I don't want to see the truth that I need to heal or grow or mature or have this past pain and heartbreak that I don't deal with. I want to ignore it. I want to keep operating from my ego that I don't have to deal with those issues, that I can keep moving forward the way I am. But it affects the decisions that they make in a relationship. Again, more shadowy energy. If you're not being truthful and authentic and loving, you're kind of using your emotions and your sexuality and all these things to try to make people think that's who you are. But it does come across as more like putting on a show instead of authentic. Authentically loving people, their cup kind of overflows. They're loving and nurturing and supportive and encouraging. They have love to give to other people. And from the Two of Cups to the Ten of Cups is the Eight of Cups. You know, the Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups, which is Scorpio energy, which can be confusion and illusion and more emotionally shallow and superficial. And they're not willing to walk away from the illusion to like do the real deal. From the Seven of Cups to the Ten of Cups would be the Three of Cups. I'd have to put an end to being emotionally manipulated by my more egoic, defensive nature to really align with my more hopeful, believing, loving nature. And I don't want to do that. And, you know, emotions are confusing. Some people would rather live more from their mind than their heart. That's their right to do that. If they find their emotions confusing, they want to live more from their mind than their heart. It makes them feel more safe and secure and stable. They have the free will to live their life like that. We just need to see the truth when we get in relationships with people who are like that. Other people have worked through those issues to not let those things manipulate them, and they're able to be authentic and loving people in the world. And if you want to be in relationships with other people who are like that, we need to see the truth when we're not in relationships with people who are like that. Wish them peace and move on. So there you go, Scorpio energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.